whatever I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Lovely. So ठीक है, we'll wait for another 3 minutes. तब तक, if anyone has any doubts about yesterday's session, basically what we covered yesterday was console.log, console.table, और क्या करवाया था मैंने? A few basic data types, just like strings, booleans, how to declare a variable, all of that. Today we'll be covering a little bit advanced stuff. I mean, it's just basic logical stuff that you do in programming, but that is what we will be starting today. Yep. Chalo. We don't have a lot of times. We don't have a lot of time right now. Let me just start my sharing of my entire screen. There we go. Incredible. Let me close YouTube. Google Chrome as it takes a lot of space. Right. Let's start. So we'll be working with. Let me first introduce you to two things. Okay. Today we'll be focusing on arrays, and we'll be focusing on how to take user input and how to use that user input to work with arrays. Does anyone in this call right now knows what an array is?
Collection of elements of the similar data type stored under a same name.
Right, but it can be of different data types as well. Uh, the basic definition is arrays को हम लोग programming में we also call them lists, and that is exactly what they are. They are lists. They are a list of things grouped together into a single. Let's say I tell you to get a list of students. You just give me a single sheet, right, that has a lot of student names and their USNs written all over. That is what you call a list, and that is what we can do in programming. We can create these lists, give them a name, and all of that can be stored under one data type, one data structure. And array in itself is a data structure, and that is what we'll be looking more deeply into today. Also, I'll tell you how to take user input in Node.js. So Node.js में, if you want to take user input, it is not as simple as writing C in, C out, just like you do in C, or like sorry, C++. In scanf, printf, you do in C programming. You just use user input or just input statement in Python. It's not as simple as that, because JavaScript is a weird language. That is why I personally prefer Python, but JavaScript is used in web dev, so we'll be learning JavaScript. And यहाँ पे there is this thing called, okay, I'll just show you. I'll just first introduce you to arrays. I'll first then introduce you to user input, how to take user input in Node.js. And after that, we will be talking about all these different logical operations that we can perform on this array. And later on, we'll perform all this on structs. I'll show you the question as well. किसी ने- Just give me a sec. I think I posted it on WhatsApp, right? Hmm, yeah, it's taking some time. Never mind, I'll just show it on VS Code. Why did I close my VS Code? Screen recording के साथ when I do this, it usually takes some time. Yes, there we go. So basically, this is the question that we will be working on tomorrow. Okay, it is a simple program. It is basically we'll be creating a cart, just like you have in e-commerce. Amazon may you have a cart, Flipkart may you have a cart, add to cart wala thing. We'll be creating that where we'll have these four functions that is going to be performed. First function is add an item to a shopping list, view all the items in a shopping list, remove an item from a shopping list, and then exit the shopping list, right? Or just go to some other tab or whatever. So this is the basic four things that we will be creating JavaScript code for. But to do all of this, we first need to know what list is. List is the most common thing in all of it. Let me write list over here, exit list. हाँ, अब सब में this keyword list is common. And arrays and lists are interchangeable. So like they're not two different things, they're the same thing. Let me show you what I mean by that. We'll go to 02 underscore javascript.js. यहाँ पे I'll create this thing. I hope everyone knows what let, var, and const does. It tells the computer that whatever we are going to write after this is a variable. So let's say we create a variable called list1. Okay, this is the name of my variable. And to create a list, all I need to do is give square brackets. The moment I give square brackets, the computer knows that whatever I'm writing inside of this, I will write multiple things. Everything is a list item. Just like in HTML, we saw li. All of this, uh, let's say we create a list of students. Let's say Sriram. Let's control Z. Yep. Tejas. Let's say Arnav. Let's say these are the three students I want to add to a list. This is how I do it. I create a variable called list to tell the computer that all of this, all of the list items are part of this list. We put them inside square brackets. That's all you have to do. Semicolon, enter. Now this list one is now this word list one is basically known to the computer as a list. And when I say give me the list one of students, it will give me all these three names as output. We'll see using console.log. This is what list is. Console. You can do either console.log or console.table. In fact, I will show you something, but let's do console.log for now. Uh, list one. Yep, there we go. If I do console.log, I hope everyone knows console.log. Say we print whatever is inside the console.log function, right? Control S will go to terminal, view, terminal, yep. And um, it is taking some time to open. Yes, there we go. As we have this path, that means that our terminal is open. And let me just run this node um, 02 underscore JavaScript dot JS. Yep. What is happening? Error is not defined. Acha, okay. Can anyone of you tell me what is the issue? Why am I getting such a big error? It is related to yesterday's session that I did a big blunder right now. I will give you a 10 rupees bounty if you can.
The double inverted comma is missing in the strings.
What's your name?
Shruti.
There we go. I cannot see the call, by the way, so that's nice. That is exactly what is wrong with it. Right now, I have not put these are strings, right? These are words. And yesterday I told you words are supposed to be inside double inverted commas, or else these are seen to the computer as either a mathematical function or a keyword. Keywords are these things, let, console, dot log. These are things that are defined inside the language that computer uses to process whatever we are typing. So if we don't put these things inside double inverted commas or quotes, computer will basically think that these I'm giving the computer a few keywords inside of this list, but this is not defined as a keyword. So computer doesn't know that this is a keyword, right? Just like computer knows that let is a keyword, or जब भी let use होगा, that means that whatever we are writing is supposed to be a variable. यहाँ पे श्रीराम और तेजस और अर्नव, these are not either keywords or mathematical operations or anything related to maths, right? Or logic. So basically these are strings और मैंने यहाँ पे I didn't put them inside quotes, and that is why this error, if you just look at the error, the reference error was Shriram is not defined because computer ने यहाँ से it started looking at the code. From here, the computer started looking at the code. It went over all of this. It saw this let. It understood list one is a variable. It went through this word. यहाँ तक bracket तक everything was fine. The moment computer went over this, it got confused because Shriram is not defined as a keyword, and that is why I'm getting this error. Shriram is not defined. So if I put it inside quotes again, all of these things, let me just here. If I do it now, if I do console.log, um, why is it? Okay, yeah, nice. Control S. Always give double inverted, not a single inverted over here and a double inverted over there. That was the issue of the जो red line आ रहा था. Let me yeah, let me control C, control V the above node statement. Control C, control V, enter. There we go. We will get this list as an output where all my list items are inside of it. This is how lists work. So basically, जब भी you want to create a list of a certain thing, ठीक है, let's say I name this as list student. and I create another list sorry, const list usn. ठीक है? And abhi all I need to do, what is the next step, by the way? Can anyone just quickly say it on the mic?
Open the square bracket and type the numbers.
There we go. So we'll create an open square bracket. And now we don't need to give those double inverted commas or those quotes, because numbers are numbers, and they do not need to be put inside a double inverted, or else that computer will treat them as strings. So we'll just quickly give them any number. Let's say Shriram is 30. I am 78. For I am not, but still. Arnav is, let's say, 02. Okay? So I have I've given these and क्या हो रहा है ये? Why is it? Okay, never mind. So apparently we cannot start with 0. Okay, Control S will run will do console.log list one, or let's do console.table. Okay, console.table. Now, if you remember from yesterday when we did dot table inside the normal brackets, I did this. I did square brackets, and then I typed three things. Let's say 15, 20, 25. Let's just run this for now. Let's just run this method, console.table. Control S, यहाँ पे Control V. Again, क्या आ रहा है? Where is the issue?
After the semicolon, you have added a black backslash. Up.
Oh, okay. Typo. Sorry. Control S. अभी किसने बोला? Manoj, was that you?
Yes, yes.
Nice one. Okay. So there we go. That is our table. ठीक है? But यहाँ पे, if I'm running this, I'm not adding these square brackets. The reason I'm not doing this is because list one में it already has this square brackets. That means कि previously yesterday when I did this, I created an array. Like you guys were working with arrays, you just didn't know them. So this entire thing is also an array, and list one also equals an array. That is why I'm not putting it inside a bracket. ठीक है? Let's just do console.table list student, not list one, because list one doesn't exist anymore. Control S. And let's delete this. Yeah. Control F. There we go. So this is how you print a particular array. You can do it either with console.log, just like we did over here. It will give you a list of items like this, or you can do console.table and it will give you in a tabular form. One of the key properties of arrays now is something called index. Okay. Index is how computer assign basically numbering to uh, an array, anything inside an array. So let's say to naked eye, if I create something like this, 1 something, 2 something, 3 something. Okay? I've created a list of these three random things, and I've given them the number 1, 2, and 3. This is now not how computer looks at arrays. Computer actually starts indexing at 0. So basically, if you look at this, the first item is given the number 0. That is its value where it is. Second item has been given the number 1. Third item has been given the number 2. It's just how it is. You don't ask why. You just accept your fate and move on. Right? That's how you do it. Anyway, so यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Indexing is very like it is crucial, and it is like this is something that people usually get wrong when they start out, because you will be doing something like this. Let's say console.log. A lot of people do it. Let's say list of student, and if you put something inside a number inside of this after list of student, no space, square brackets. If you put the index um, of the let's say this value Sriram, it has been index 0, right? if I put 0 inside of these square brackets, these are syntax. You need to learn all of this. If I do list of students, square bracket 0, it will just print the list item that is at the 0th index. Basically, this statement tells the computer to look at this item. Or let's say I want to print this or this. So if this is 0, Tejas will be 1, Arnav will be 2. So I'll just put 2 over here. And this console.log should give me the output as list of whatever the value of list of student square bracket 2 is or index 2 is. So if we just quickly do it, Control S, uh, let's comment this part. Um, yeah, let's comment this one. Control V. Yeah, मैंने कर दिया था ना उसको comment. अच्छा मैंने Control S नहीं किया था. There we go. इसीलिए this table is printed. Anyways, so basically this console.log has printed Arnav just like it should. Why? Because we gave the computer an index of 2, and I want you to understand this like very vividly, that whenever we are working with arrays, the index of that array starts with 0. So this item is item 0, this is item 1, this is item 2. Okay, this is how computer arrays in computers, like any language, works. If you're doing C, C++, Java, Python, whatever, the indexing will always start from 0, and it will go on up until however many lists are there. And like in a lot of other languages, you need to define, create a variable, define it as an array by putting something like this over here. But in JavaScript, you don't need to do it. You just directly create a variable and set it as an array using this syntax. This it will start from 0, and it will go on till however many numbers are there after 0. Okay? Also, if you want to point at a particular item in a list, this is how you do it. Remove this console.log. Remove this console.log. List of student bracket whatever the index of the value is. Let's say 4. There is no index 4, right? There is 0, there is 1, there is 2. There is no 4, right? But if there was, let's say, two more things and it went on to 3 and 4, this particular thing, this particular value will will give will be equal to, let's say we add two more names यहाँ पे. Let's say we add uh, any other name. What is the most of Rohan? Yeah, we added two names over here. Now this list of student at 4 will point at Rohan, and iska value, whenever you try to print this or do anything with this, it will happen to the Rohan ka list item over here, the list item called Rohan over here. So this will be equal to Rohan. I just wrote that for reference. This will be a comment. Does anyone has any doubts? Yep, go ahead, ask it.
If the fourth element is not there, only three elements are there, and if we give it to print the fourth element, it will print 0 or garbage value, or will
Let's
it show
try
in
it.
any error?
Let's try it. Instead of hypothesizing, let's try it. It should either give it undefined or 0, but let's try it. Even I'm not too sure on that. Angel, तेरे को भी doubt था? Just shoot.
Yes, I have doubt.
हाँ मैथिली
Actually,
बोल.
the doubt is
Hmm.
if I want two elements to get print.
Hmm.
Okay, so I will have to write in same square bracket the values of index or in a different square brackets.
Wait, you
Like
want these two to be printed.
yeah,
Console.log this. So basically, you have to treat them as strings. Okay, first I'll do the first out, and then I'll come back to you. You can close your
okay,
mic and read.
okay.
Yeah. Basically, let's first try and give this an index of 9. We don't have an indexed value of 9 over here, right? There are only what 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There, हमारा index, it goes up until 4, but we have given it an index value of 9. Let's see what happens. Control S, and let's run this code. Value क्या है? Undefined. It is not 0. The reason it's not 0, because 0 could be a value as well, right? So it doesn't want to print a wrong value, which is a good thing. It just gives off as undefined. Okay? Good
Okay,
doubt.
okay.
Anyways, let's come back to Mathli got out. Let's say Now I want to print this and this. How will we do it? Now we know that this value is a string and this value is also a string, right? Let's say we want to print Sriram and Tejas. ठीक है? This is a string, this is a string. How did we usually do it? We did it using, sorry, control Z, delete. Yeah. We did that use by writing this Tejas and the value of another string, right? So let's say anything.
Concatenation.
Yeah, this is basic concatenation, and this is how we do it, like by indexing as well. So if you look at this, um, students, let's say 0 and plus, क्योंकि ये अभी भी string है ना, you have to treat them just like these two are synonymous. List of student and its index. This value and this value is synonymous. So you have to treat this just like you would treat this line of this particular text. This text is equivalent to this text. So if I just do this and this is student 1, it should print the 0 index and the first index. So let's control this. Yeah, there we go. If I add a little bit of space in between, let's say we add space and then another plus. So space is also treated as a text string, by the way. Run it again. Now we will have a space in between the output as well. There we go. Sriram and Tejas has been printed. This is how you do it. Anyways, so this is how we deal with arrays. This is the first major part of the session that I wanted to cover. If we don't have time to do loops, like all the loops, we will do it tomorrow. No worries. But I want you to understand what loops is, so at least we'll do basic loops today. Arrays. There we go. Now let's print another. Let's look at another thing that is called user input. I'll come to whoever has the doubt 2 minutes. Just give me a sec. Keep your hands up. Raise your hands. Yep. User input. Usually, wait, before I start, let me just take that out. Yep. हाँ,
डाउट मेरा नहीं है सुन ना तेजस, डाउट
Shoot,
ये है
shoot.
कि मान ले
Fast.
अगर बहुत सारे एलिमेंट्स हो और हमें मान लो क्या कहते हैं 10 एलिमेंट्स लेने हो आउटपुट में, तो हम क्या ऐसे लिखेंगे 10 एलिमेंट्स बार बार?
For loops.
फॉर लूप्स.
Yep. We'll come to that later on. Manually करने से अच्छा, we have something called loops in programming, and loops say we can iterate a very large database. So we'll see that when we come to loops. But if you have to do it manually, this is the way. If not, we'll come to that. Loops. चलो, we'll look at user input. A Python में, if I just create a Python script, मैंने कल वाला Python script, why did I delete it? Let's say python1 dot py. Yeah, there we go. python1.py. मैंने spelling बहुत गंदी लिखी है, but don't look at that. So let's say we are trying to create a input field in Python. What we will do is we will just do this x is equal to input, and let's say what is your name? Is your name. We give it a data type string, but let's say अभी जरूर नहीं है. Control Z ये मत करना. Yeah, and let's say we do print x. ठीक है. Basically, if I just run this code, run Python file in terminal. Yeah, if I just run this Python program, it will take some time first, and it will ask me what is my name. Let's say I write Tejas. It will print Tejas, and it was pretty straightforward, right? We created a variable that we are using to store this value, whatever value we will get from the user, and we will print it. It is similar, very similar in JavaScript, but basically the user input statement in JavaScript is called prompt. Okay, and we cannot directly use prompt. So what we need to do to use prompt is, first we need to go to our terminal. Let's say we go to the JavaScript terminal over here. We need to first do this npm install, and I want all of you to do it with me right now. If you have VS Codes open, quickly open them. I'll give you 10 seconds. npm installed prompt dash sync. In normal JavaScript, you can do it directly when you're running it on browser. When you do need to do it in Node.js, this is the easiest method to do it. So type this. I will type and paste it in the chat as well. Just copy paste this into your terminal. Okay, let me connect my charger after this. Prompt sync. मैंने यहाँ पे भी गलत किया होगा in my prompt, and run this. In the meanwhile, I'll just plug in my charger. Yep, there we go. Hopefully everyone is done with this. Press enter. I am not gonna do it because I've already installed prompt. Okay. Press enter. It will, okay, I'll do it. It will basically install 3 packages. These are something that you need to install. Okay. Up to date. The reason it's showing me up to date is because I have like already installed it. Audited 4 packages. There are 4 packages inside of it. And just if you run this code, it will show, and you're connected to the internet and you have downloaded Node.js. This will show you basically a package that has been installed. If you're not able to do it, just quickly tell me. Hopefully everyone is able to do it. Good. Okay. After we have done this, we need to import this module. So this is a module. This is a, like, it is an external file. Imagine this as an external file, modules go, and you need to import this to use it in your program. So first you need to tell the computer that I want to use this particular module, and then you can use it. How do we do that? We do that using this Control C. I just paste it over here, Control V. Take off. I'll also paste it in the chat. So const prompt, this is a variable. It is telling the computer that we are using prompt sync that we just downloaded using npm, and signet true. Okay. Second true. You don't need to know all of it. I can break it down for you, but you don't need to know all of it right now. All you need to do is copy paste this code so that the computer knows that you are using prompt sync library module. Okay. I'll copy paste the code in the chat. Use this to copy paste it into your main program, not into your terminal, into your main program. And once we are done with these 2 steps, first npm install prompt sync और दूसरा const prompt require prompt sync, second true, ये वाला पूरा जो part है. Once we're done with that, we can then go on and, where is it? Okay, let me just cancel this. Yeah, then we can go on to our VS Code and use this thing. Just like in Python we used input, we can use this thing called prompt in JavaScript. So let me show you how to. Okay, so let's create a variable. Let name IP is name input, let's say, is equal to prompt, and inside the prompt we will write what our question prompt is. What are we asking? So basically what we will write inside double quotes is, what is your name? And all it will do is it will print this. It will expect the user to give a value, and it will store this value inside name IP, which is our variable. We can also give example text, by the way. So if I do comma and I put ex pages, or या फिर John Doe, ठीक है, If I just do this, it will also show an example text, but I think people are not that dumb यहाँ पे कि you don't know what your name is. So we'll just do this, remove the comma, just do this, and we'll try to run this, control S. Let's paste it in our main second wala thing over here only. Let's inside the user input, we will first paste this code that calls the module, and then let's paste this part. Let name IP, control C, control C, control V, control S, and we will run it. यहाँ पे मैंने node run किया है, so let me just copy paste this command. Yep. So basically, first it printed console.log list of students, but whatever we have done in this line, okay, that is why you're seeing these two names over here. And then it is asking me, what is your name? Okay, so let me just put Tejas. I didn't tell the computer what to do with this. I just asked the computer to take user input. Whatever we are going to do with it, we'll do it later. Abhi ke liye, I'm just concerned with taking the user input. So that is why the program will, the moment it hits this line successfully, this line is executed and I have entered my name, the program will end like right then and there. So enter, the program has ended. ठीक है? Let's say I want to print this name. इसके लिए simple होगा console.log, sorry, and name IP. If I just put control S, run, give it my name again or some name, let's say Daniel. It will print Daniel over here. Okay, this is how you take user input. You first do npm install in your terminal. npm install this package prompt sync. Import this package using this rule, and then to then do whatever you want using prompt, just like we did in Python over here. In Python, we use input. Same way, you just use prompt in JavaScript. That is the only difference. Everything else is same. Also in Python, we didn't use let var const. And here we need to use let var const, or just to declare or store this value inside a variable. Okay, I think everything is clear up until now. First 30 minutes of the call, this is what we did. The first thing was like arrays. We worked with arrays. Then I told you how to take user input. Now I will tell you two things. The first thing is if, else, and elif. That is conditionals. That is what we call them. Conditionals is the official word for these three things: if, else, and else if. I'll tell you what that is. So first, before I do that, I want to create a problem statement of sorts. So let's say we come over here. Okay. Abhi, I'm not using functions, so that is why you will see, because I don't want to confuse you and run functions. But that is why you will be seeing all of this. But like when we do study functions and when you know functions, we will not have all this output printed. So let's start with a problem statement. Okay. Problem statement. Our problem statement is you are a ride operator at a theme park. ठीक है, XYZ. This is your theme park name. And you need to check whether a person is above the height of 5 feet or below the height of 5 feet to enter the ride. ठीक है. Do you have, how many of you know if, else, elif? Just raise your hands. A good bunch. A very decent bunch. Almost more than half of the people. Okay, so I'll just quickly then just write the code, tell you the syntax. I'll explain it in 2 words, and we'll move on to for loops, क्योंकि for loops, while loops, do while, for in, for off, इसमें थोड़ा सा time लगेगा. So I think 11 people, 12 people is a good number out of 18 who know conditionals. So I'll write the code. I'll also explain it for the 5 people who don't, 5, 6 people who don't. But we will not spend too much time on if else elif. ठीक है? Wait, did I just? Okay, sorry. Let me share my screen again. Thankfully, I didn't exit the call. 2 मिनट. अभी तक समझ आ रहा है ना? That's all that matters. Just do this if you are able to understand. Cool. Works. Amazing. ठीक है. We'll move on to conditionals. Okay. So this is our problem statement. First, step one is take the user input. How do we do that? We do it using prompt. So let's create something called let age. Sorry, let age. ये हमारा variable है to get the age of sorry, let height, not age, height, to get the height of the person. And to get the height of the person, I will create prompt because we need user input. Double brackets. What is the prompt that we will tell the user? The prompt will be enter your height. This is the prompt. Enter your height. This will ask the user to enter the height, and then we will check using using if statement if the particular height is over our limit. So our limit is 5 feet. So let me enter in feet. Our our limit is 5 feet. We cannot go below 5 feet. So basically, if this, so I'll first tell you the basic syntax. If height greater than 5, console.log. Sorry. log. ठीक है? I hope a lot of you will be able to understand this part of the code. Let me give it a bit of spacing. Yes, amazing. I hope all of you will be able to understand this part of the code. First, we ask the user for the height using whatever we studied up until now, semicolon. And then after that, for the 5-6 people who didn't know, this is what an if statement does. It checks a condition. It checks a particular condition. If the condition is to go above something, below something, something is equal to something, all of that it will check. If the height is 5, what we wanted to check was if the height was above 5 feet, right? So we took the height, we asked the user for their height, and we will check using this statement if they are allowed to ride the write the particular ride or not. How do we do that? We do that using if statement. The basic syntax is you write the keyword if, the condition goes inside the bracket, these braces over here. क्या हो रहा है ये? हाँ. So these braces, inside these braces, the condition will go, and inside the curly bracket, the code that is supposed to be executed the moment this condition is met will go inside. So the moment the computer knows that the height is above 5, it will allow the user or print allowed to enter so that the user knows they are allowed to go inside the ride. Okay, this is the basic syntax of if. Now there is some, what if the height is not 5 feet? Let's say they are 4 feet 11. Okay. What happens when that happens? So let's say we write, so like to execute the counter condition, the counter statement, we use else. Okay. Else के लिए you don't have any condition. The moment the condition is not this, if this condition is not met, if it is met, it will go with this. The moment this condition is not met, it will it will execute else. So else के लिए you don't need a bracket. You just directly write the counter statement or the counter code that is supposed to execute when the condition is not met. So basically यहाँ पे क्या होगा? console.log. अरे ये क्या हो रहा है? हाँ. You are not allowed to. Yep, there we go. So basically, this is the counter statement that you want to give the moment you know that a person is shorter than 5 feet. As a representative of the Short People's Association, I will tell you below 5 feet you should die. Anyways, coming back to our programming thing, uh, there is something else called else if. ठीक है? And I'll tell you by changing the problem statement a little bit. If the person is allowed to enter, ask them for their age and charge them accordingly. There we go. So I've changed this problem statement a bit. The problem statement initially asked us to check if the person is more than 5 feet or not. That we did using if and else. But now we want to charge the person according to their age. So let's create pricing brackets. Let's say if a person is above 18 years old and below 25, they will pay X amount. If the person is under 18, they will pay X amount. And if the person is over 25, they will pay a certain amount, more amount. ठीक है? So if we want to create three categories and we want to check three conditions, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? You're just checking one condition, and if the condition is not true, you will directly print this. But now we want to check three conditions, right? तो कैसे होगा वो? How do we do this? So the moment this condition is true, height is equal to greater than 5, we need to now check three conditions after this is true. So we will create something called nested if conditions. Nested if conditions या फिर if else conditions or conditionals are when you create a condition inside a condition. So यहाँ पे we checked this condition. Now we will create another condition called if age. First we will ask for their age. Once they are above a certain height, we'll ask for their age. Prompt what's your age? We'll put it inside a variable called let age is equal to, ठीक है? We'll ask for their age and we will check if their age is greater than, first we'll check if they are under 18. If they are under 18, again we need to run a certain console.log to tell them what their price is. Console.log pay 10 rupees. Now we want to check another condition that we are not creating two brackets, right? Under 18 and over 18 price. We are creating three brackets. जहाँ पे we first check if they're under 18. The next step is to check whether they are between 18 and 25. How do we do that? We do that using something called else if. So this is a thing called else if. Else if is used when you need to check multiple conditions, multiple options you need to check if something is true or not. So we will give the other prompt that is बीच में क्या पाएगा क्या? Yeah, there you go. We need to give another. Look, Joe, let me just confirm if JavaScript else ifs have. I've been writing a lot of C code lately, so else if in JS and the typical syntax, yeah, it does have a space in between that I missed. I'm sorry for that. Yep, there we go. So it does have space in between. Initially, I was right. We will write our next condition that is age greater than 18, greater than or equal to 18, and के लिए what we do is we just write this and age. If you want to check two statements in one, less than 25. Okay. Now the moment we do this, it will check two conditions. The first, if there are more than two conditions, true or false nahi hai, there is something in between that you need to check. We use else if, and we use this. Basically, this is the syntax for checking multiple conditions inside the same if, else if, or else. You don't check conditions in else, but yeah. And the moment you check this condition, it will now if they are between 18 or 25, you need to charge them a little bit more. Console.log pay 15 rupees. And the else condition, the moment they are above this bracket, 25 wala age bracket, you will ask them for 20 rupees. तो यहाँ पे we hit two birds with one stone. That is, पहले I told you what nested loops are. You can create conditions inside conditions. The moment this is true, this will run. ठीक है? And the second thing is else if. Else if you can create multiple else ifs, by the way. You can create another else if and then uh, another else if यहाँ पे. ठीक है? You can create multiple else ifs. But all you need to pay attention to is indentation. So you need to, like, whatever is going to come inside of this else if, it should be inside these curly braces, first of all. The program to be executed when once the condition is met, Control Z. Secondly, you need to check the indentation, that the code inside this if statement is like, in Python you need to do it a lot. In JavaScript it is like you can vary, it is a pretty chill language, but it is like always a good option to take care of the indentations. Indentation is like this gapping in between, ye wala part that you see. This has no gap compared to यहाँ पे where the file starts. This particular code has some gap. This code has this console.log event has more gap. This is what you call indentation, where you can clearly see which code is affected by what is the predecessor of a particular part of code, and like all of that. So that is what you call indentation. Else if is used when there are multiple options. Console.log, pay 15 rupees. Else pay 20 rupees if you're above 25 of age. So let's run this program. I'm sure we are going to hit some error, but let's run this program. Okay, nice. So ठीक है. Wait a minute. अच्छा हाँ, Control S नहीं किया था. I'm sorry. Control V, it will ask me that useless question. Yeah. So first I need to enter my height in feet. My height in feet is 5'6" or 5.6. Let's just do that. I'm allowed to enter. It will check the statement over here, यहाँ पे, if I'm allowed to enter or not. Now it will ask for my age. Let's enter 20. And it will now go through all of this code. It will check if I'm under 18. No, I'm not under 18. If I'm over 18 but under 25, yes, I am over 18 but under 25. So now it will ask me to pay 15 rupees. If I entered my age as 26, it would have asked me to pay 20 rupees. If I entered my age as 17, it would have asked me to pay 10 rupees. This is how you use if, else if, and else in this code. This was a problem statement that we worked with. I hope it is like pretty clear to everyone. And this is also how you put multiple conditions inside the same conditional. ठीक है? Clear? Nice. Let's get back. How much time do we have? We have another 5 minutes. So should I introduce you to for loops and everything today, or do you want to do it tomorrow while we are doing this question? Sorry, I shouldn't be opening my WhatsApp this often. Do you want to do it? Raise your hands if you want to do it right now. For loops, while loops, do while, at least for loops and while loops. Or do you want to study the entire loops tomorrow? And abhi ke liye user input, arrays, objects, all of that is like clear.
We'll do the loops for tomorrow.
Amazing. So before we go, we have another 4 minutes before you guys leave. I just want to tell you a few methods that we can apply on arrays, since we discussed arrays today, to manipulate the data inside an array without doing it directly by changing this. So let's say we create another, just for the sake of simplicity, array.js. Okay. We create an array. Let abc is equal to some array. Let's say 1 2 3 only I will do. 6 7. Okay. So first of all, this is where you use indexing a lot. Okay, this is where you do indexing a lot. This is where we use index. So let's say I want to remove the last part of my array. Okay, just give me a sec. Someone is calling. Yeah. Let's say I want to remove this last item in my array. How would I do it? I would
Delete operation.
You can do that, or you can use something in JavaScript called pop. Okay. So this is how you do it. We have created an array called ABC. ABC, how you use ABC, you use it via, let's say this is how you do it, console.log, first we want to print it, console.log, and I want to remove this last element and print this. Okay? How would I do it? I would do abc dot pop. Okay? And if I do abc dot pop, this should this should remove the last element, but you will see something different over here. Okay? I am expecting you would see something different, not this array, not what you are expecting, but something different. Node array.js, array.js. There we go. Console.log. Okay, wait a minute. Controllers. Node array.js. Yeah, it has not printed this. It has not printed ABC or the values inside ABC. Although using pop, we have definitively removed this 7 from this array. Okay? But it will not print the controls. If it will not print this entire array when you do abc.pop, it will only print the last element that we removed. So the first element that I want you to, the first method that I want you to be aware of is list.pop और यहाँ पे bracket लगाना पड़ता है. That is what I didn't do. If I do abc.pop bracket, it will pop the last element, that is remove the last element, but it will not it will not return the value of this array as an output. It will only return the value of the element that we just popped. So how do we get the array? We do another console.log. You can remove this console.log if you just want to pop. Here, if you just want to pop, you can just give this command and do console.log and now print abc. Now print abc, control S. And now if we run this, अरे क्या हो गया? Internal model. Let's give it a let remove is equal to abc.pop and we acha this okay, yeah, fine. Remove. Okay, let's do this, control S. We have given this method inside a function. Now let's say node array.js. Yeah, that. Acha, हाँ. Again, I printed this. So instead of that, now we will print the ABC. That is the updated value of our code. Array yaar. Let me copy this. Sorry. I just need you to tell about two methods. This is one of them. So now if you can see in our output, 7 is not there. Why? Because we use the pop method. Another method that I want you to be aware of is push. So what it will do is it will be the opposite of pop. It will add a particular value to this element. So let's say um, we do, let's say abc.push this. Okay? This is what we do, control S. And now if I do this, not worked. Let me see why. So ठीक है, this was right.
We use append, right, to add an element.
Append. Acha, हाँ, sorry, I'm confused again. C++ JavaScript. My bad.
Yes,
Append.
yes.
There we go. Nice one. Again, some issue. You see what append. अब इसमें क्या problem है? Let's just append the number for now. Append them. Control S. This should be fine. If not, I will debug the code. Again, it is not working. I don't know the reason. Let me just check.
It's probably push in JavaScript.
We use both. None of them are working. No, append is there. Append is there, but push is what I remember in JS as well. And push is not working over here as well. Let's try again. Let's try again. We will debug. Happens. Nice. So basically in this ABC, the 7 is added twice. The reason it is added twice is because we did abc.push. And like in some languages, append is there. I think in Python append is there, and that is why we got a bit confused. But over here, if you see the printed code, that is over here. This is the array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7. If we push 8, it will add 8. One last method that I want you, yeah, I'll come back to the doubt. Just give me a sec. Yeah, it has added 8. One last method that I want you to be aware of is called splice. Splice is used to remove any particular element from between. Splice is used to keep your hands up if the doubt is still there. I'll come back to that doubt. If you want to remove anything over here, we use splice. How do we do that? We do that via first writing the index that we want the splice to be applied to. So let's say we want to remove 3. Okay? So the index of 3 is 0, 1, 2. 2, comma, how many elements do we want to splice from here? So how if we can remove all 3 elements from here, 3, 4, 5. But let's say we just want to remove 3. We do this, Control S and Control. Yahan pe, if you run this code, it will remove 3 from here. As you can see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why? Because this array, inside this array, if you just want to remove this particular element, how do we do that? We do that using splice. How splice works: first you need to give the index of this element that you want to remove, and then how many elements you want to remove from here. Let's say if we do 2 over here, it will remove 3 and 4 both. Control V, enter. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. We have removed 3 and 4 using splice. So these were the 3. Let me just write it. Push, pop, splice. There are other methods as well. I want you to go and explore. We will use them time to time later on. And yeah, that's it for today. Now let's go.
For adding a particular element to a particular position, do we have any comment?
Adding, let's say you want to add, you're asking, you want to add, let's say, some element 13 in between 2 and 3.
In between.
You know what? Do one thing. Try and figure out yourself. Tomorrow, I'll ask you the same question. And it has to do with another method that we use. Okay? It is not push, because push is used to add something at the end. There is another method, and try to figure it out yourself. Okay? I'll come back to I'll come
Okay.
back to it for sure. Let me just write it down. I'll just write the name of the method yahan pe, but I will not tell you right now. Just give me a sec.
Because in C language we have to write a code for
Yep,
everything.
yep.
There's
You have
no
to write a for loop, and then you have to check if the for loop is, yep.
yeah.
You have to do all of that. That is, you have been spared using methods. Methods are nothing but these functions that use all of that backend code from some low level language and then is applied to all of this. Okay? In Python, a lot of methods or controllers, sorry, a lot of functions are just JavaScript, sorry, C++ functions. Where is the call? Yep. Someone else had a doubt. Amazing. That's it for today. So we covered if else, elif, arrays, and user input. I hope a lot of you were able to follow. And yeah, we'll be coming back tomorrow with for loops, objects, and that problem statement that we are working. Like go ahead and give it a shot. Give it a shot. The hint is you need to use a lot of loops. I will list all the loops over here. Someone who wants to copy this, you can copy it in your own. We'll use for loop, while loop, do while. There is something called as for off and for in.
Nested for.
Yeah, also there are nested loops. Nested loops we use when we need to run a loop inside a loop, just like we needed to do an if statement inside an if statement. That is when nested loops are used for. But in this case, nested loops will not be, I have not, you can do it without nested loops. That is the hint if you want. You don't need to use it. If you want, you can do it, but it's not that complicated. It's just adding something to a list. I've told you how to do that. Create a list. Also, lists are used in this. So list is the basic thing. Objects are not used, by the way. Objects we will use when we want to, create a user profile of sorts and then add this list to there. So basically, we create person A and their cart, person B, their cart, person C, their cart. So we will use objects then, but for now, this is the way to go. Okay, I'll just post this. These are all the concepts that we will use in that particular chapter. If you want to go and study it on your own, you can do it. And if you're able to solve it, amazing. Send it in the group, the GitHub link. You will be rewarded as well. All this will be added to your like. Now we will be actually the recruitment, by the way, is going to start from first. We are having a meeting tomorrow discussing this. The recruitment part, the technical team recruitment part will start from first. You will be given prompts that you need to complete in 2 or 3 days, and from that we will judge your skills or whatever. I hope. Chalo, you're all allowed to leave. This is done. You're done for the day. Go out, revise. I have assigned the assignment wala part to someone else because I keep forgetting. So you will get assignments. Don't worry. Chalo, see you guys. Bye bye. If you have any doubts, you can say.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Yep. Go ahead. Ask the doubt.
Bhaiya, I'm facing issue in installing this prompt.
Prompt installment. Okay. What is the error code that
Yes.
you're getting?
Some error it's showing.
Uh,
Security error
it
thing.
must be related to permissions. There are other ways to get user inputs as well. I'll send you the link of that. ठीक है? Can you just text me on WhatsApp? Just send me
Okay.
your what do you call? Just send
Okay.
me a text, drop it. Just remind me that you had this particular problem, and I'll send you the link to debug it. ठीक
Okay.
है? Also, if anyone else can help, please group में. चलो, bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank you, Bhaiya.